They say the Pentagon sees everything, that every click, every call, every move is logged in some secret server room buried deep underground. A system so vast and so powerful that hiding from it is almost impossible. But one man did. Not just for a day, not just for a week, for years. This is the story of the man who outsmarted the Pentagon's surveillance network. And it begins not in Washington, but in a cramped apartment thousands of miles away, where a single glowing screen became the battlefield. He wasn't a soldier. He wasn't a spy. He was, at least on the surface, ordinary. But like all great stories, the ordinary hides the extraordinary. He had a gift. A strange, almost obsessive way of seeing patterns where others saw only noise. While most of us scroll past endless lines of code, he saw cracks in the wall, tiny imperfections in a fortress everyone else believed was unbreakable. And behind those cracks, secrets worth billions. The Pentagon's surveillance network isn't just cameras on street corners. It's satellites, facial recognition, metadata harvested from phones, emails, even the way you walk. It's the invisible web that ties us to the state. But every system, no matter how advanced, is still built by humans. And humans make mistakes. He found one. It started with a glitch, a routine error message most of us would ignore. But to him, it was a doorway into the belly of the world's most secretive empire. For months, he studied, not breaking in, not yet, just watching, patient, almost surgical. And then, one night, he stepped through the doorway. What he discovered wasn't just data. It was a map of lives, millions of them. Names, habits, private conversations, fears. A machine that didn't just watch people, it predicted them. Imagine knowing what someone will do before they do it. Imagine a system that can whisper to a government, "This person will protest. This person will defect. This person will betray." That's what he found, and that's what he feared. He could have sold it. Governments, corporations, even cartels would have paid fortunes for the keys he held in his hands. He created ghosts, but he didn't. Instead, he began a quiet rebellion. Digital phantoms that tricked the system. Fake citizens, fake patterns, fake lives, whole identities that moved through airports, crossed borders, made phone calls, but none of them were real. One man, armed with nothing but a computer, made the Pentagon chase shadows. When the Pentagon finally noticed, it was chaos. Files didn't match. Targets disappeared. Surveillance cameras caught people who didn't exist. It was as if the system itself had gone mad. And that's when the hunt began. A nameless task force was assembled. Cyber analysts, military contractors, intelligence officers, men and women trained to find anyone, anywhere. But how do you find someone who already knows how you're looking? For every step they took, he was two ahead. They searched in New York. He was already gone. They traced signals to Europe. All they found were his ghosts. The hunter had become the hunted, and he was winning. But every story like this has a cost, because no one outsmarts the Pentagon forever. After years of cat and mouse, the silence grew. Some say he was captured quietly, without trial, buried in a prison we'll never hear about. Others claim he disappeared into the very shadows he created, living under one of his own fake identities. And a few believe he's still out there, somewhere, testing the edges of the system, waiting for the next crack to appear. The truth, we may never know. What we do know is this: his story isn't just about one man, it's about power. The power of a government to see into every corner of our lives. The power of technology to predict what we'll do before we've even done it. And the power of a single human being, armed with nothing but intelligence and obsession, to remind us that even the strongest walls can crumble. Sometimes I wonder, why did he do it? Was it defiance? A way of saying no to a system too vast to fight? Or was it something quieter? Maybe, deep down, he just wanted to prove that the human spirit, curious, restless, stubborn, will always find a way. Because if the Pentagon really does see everything, then this man, this ghost in the machine, reminds us of something important. Even in a world of total surveillance, there is still mystery. There is still rebellion. There is still the possibility of vanishing. And maybe, just maybe, as you're hearing this now, he's listening too, watching, smiling at the thought that once again, the system has no idea where he is. The man who outsmarted the Pentagon's surveillance network. The man who proved nothing is unbreakable.